Welcome to my all dear listeners. I, Professor Sanjay Hiremath, speaking from the platform of Changukana Thakur Arts, Commerce and Science College, New Panvel, Autonomous. My dear listeners, my today's subject is solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Very interesting facts I am going to share with you in my today's episode, which are generally asked in the competitive exams. Please listen it very carefully. Initially, I would like to clear you the concept of lunar eclipse, and then I will clear you the concept of solar eclipse. What is lunar eclipse? Please keep in mind, in the lunar eclipse, Earth shadow falls on the moon, and in the solar eclipse, the moon's shadow falls on the earth. Again, I am repeating what I said just now. That is, in the lunar eclipse, Earth's shadow falls on the moon, and in the solar eclipse, moon's shadow falls on the earth. Still more details and the facts about lunar eclipse and solar eclipse I am going to explain you. That also you listen it very carefully. The lunar eclipse, just remember, can occur only on the full moon day. Lunar eclipse can occur only on the full moon day, and the solar eclipse can occur only on the new moon day. And the further information, very interesting, I am going to share with you. That is, the lunar eclipse. How many times maximum lunar eclipse are possible in a year? This question is asked oftenly. That is, the answer of this question is maximum 3 lunar eclipses are possible in a year. And how many partial solar eclipses are possible in a year? The answer of this question is 2 to 3 partial lunar eclipses are possible in a year. What is the maximum duration of the total lunar eclipse is possible? Maximum duration of the total lunar eclipse. The answer of this question is 1 hour 45 minutes. 1 hour 45 minutes maximum time the lunar eclipse can occur. And what is the maximum duration of the partial lunar eclipse? The answer of this question is up to the 4 hours. Up to 4 hours the partial lunar eclipse can be observed. Now I will share with you interesting information about the solar eclipse. My dear students, as you know, in the solar eclipse there are 3 types are there. One is total solar eclipse, second is partial solar eclipse, and third, which occurs very rarely, that is annular solar eclipse. The total solar eclipse occurs, as I just told you, only on the new moon day. How many times the total solar eclipse can occur in a year? Maximum 2 times. How many times maximum annular solar eclipse are possible in a year? The answer of this question is 3 times. And how many times maximum partial solar eclipse can occur? The answer of this question is 4 to 5 times. 4 to 5 times in a year partial solar eclipse can occur. Now I will talk about the duration. What can be the maximum duration of the total solar eclipse? What is the maximum duration of the total solar eclipse possible? The answer of this question is maximum duration 7 minutes 31 seconds. 7 minutes 31 seconds. What can be the maximum duration of the partial solar eclipse possible? The answer of this question is 12 minutes 30 seconds. 12 minutes 30 seconds. Now, with the diagrammatic representation, I am going to explain you the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. Here is a figure of the lunar eclipse. You see, in lunar eclipse or the solar eclipse, the three celestial bodies, one is sun, second is earth, third is moon, they fall in the straight line. Okay, three celestial bodies, sun, earth and the moon. And in lunar eclipse what happens? Between sun and the moon, the earth comes. Earth passes between the sun and the moon, and because of that, the earth shadow falls on the moon. Earth shadow falls on the moon because, as you know, whatever the bright moon we see, that is the sun's reflected light. You know this because moon is not self-illuminated. Okay, whatever the light we see of the moon, it is reflected light of the sun's only. And on some full moon days, what happens? The earth comes in the path of the sun and the moon, and the earth becomes obstacle. Because of that, the sun's rays cannot reach to the moon, and due to this, the earth shadow falls on the moon. And there are two kinds of shadows are possible. One is umbra, second is penumbra. The umbra means it is a dark shadow, and penumbra means is a light shadow. And when the umbra of the earth which reaches to the moon, that is called as a total lunar eclipse. And when the penumbra, that is a light shadow of the earth which reaches moon, that time partial lunar eclipse occurs. Now I will explain you with the diagrammatic representation how the solar eclipse occurs. In the solar eclipse, you see some diagrams I will show of the lunar eclipse. You see, this is a partial lunar eclipse, partial. Here you can see this is a shadow of the earth, and part of the moon looks brighter, and this is a figure of the total lunar eclipse. This is called as a blood moon because you see the color of the moon looking red. This is a total lunar eclipse. You can see here Hubble telescope that is also seen because this is a photograph taken by the NASA. Now I will explain you what is a solar eclipse. In solar eclipse, my dear students, there are three kinds are there, and these all photographs have been taken by the NASA. These are the live photographs. This is the figure of the total solar eclipse. Here you see the sun is darkened totally, and to the edge you see the light is seen. And in the partial solar eclipse, part of the sun is looking dark. Got it? And in the annular solar eclipse, which is a very rare phenomenon, the sun's outer part, outer edge is looking very, very bright. Got it? Now, you are seeing this shadow. Okay, this shadow is not, this is a shadow. Okay, is of the moon which falls on the earth. This is a shadow of the moon. What happens, you see, some students, what they treat this shadow, this is a shadow of the moon which falls on the sun. No, it is totally wrong. Okay, nobody's shadow can fall on the sun because sun is so bright. This is a shadow which reaches to the earth. This is a moon shadow, and the part of the earth where the moon shadow reaches, in that part the people cannot see, either partially they cannot see the sun, that time that is a partial solar eclipse, and when they cannot see any part of the sun, that is called as a total solar eclipse. Now with a diagrammatic representation, I am going to explain you the solar eclipse. You see, sun, moon and earth falls in the same line, and moon's shadow reaches to the earth. This is a part where the earth falls in the solar eclipse, and umbra, that is a moon's dark shadow, and penumbra, that is a moon's light shadow, and this is a part that is called as a annular path, annular region where the earth falls sometimes. That time annular solar eclipse is possible. Okay, if earth lies in the umbra, there is a dark shadow, in that region the people can see total solar eclipse. If earth falls in the penumbra, there is a light shadow, that the people of this region of the earth can see partial solar eclipse. And if earth falls here in this part, that is annular path, that time people can see annular solar eclipse. Please keep in mind. Again you can see, okay, with focus mind, how the solar eclipse is possible. And in the annular solar eclipse, the moon is at the farthest distance from the earth, that is called as the apogee point. In the annular solar eclipse, the moon is at the farthest distance from the earth, that is called as at the apogee point. That time annular solar eclipse are seen. One more figure I would like to share with you of the solar eclipse. This is also the diagrammatic representation of the solar eclipse. Sun, moon and earth, and this is umbra, this is penumbra, and moon's shadow falls on the earth. Because of that, either partial sun is not visible or total sun is not visible, and therefore there are major two types of the solar eclipse. One is partial solar eclipse, another is the total solar eclipse, and third type is annular solar eclipse is also possible, just I told you few minutes back. Once again you see the figures of total solar eclipse. This is partial solar eclipse, this is annular solar eclipse. Okay, my dear students, I am going to share such interesting information in days to come in my next videos. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.